Come here. I need this. Bro, you're a mess, bro. Yeah, see, today's kind of one of those days where what I do is I record, and then whatever happens, whatever comes out, and then afterwards, I rewatch it, I edit, I gauge if it's a product I want to put out into the world. So yesterday we went out actually. It was my buddy's birthday. Shout out Dan. So we had a good time. We got dinner, got a couple of drinks and stuff. Enjoyed the city. It's good, living in a city like Rome, you really need to take time to appreciate it, appreciate the history, appreciate everything it has to offer. I mean, this city it is literally the eternal city. I mean, there's no shortage of history, culture, food, people for sure. It's really cool to kind of walk around and see things and be walking on cobblestone that Roman emperors walked on, and that history has shaped what the world is today. And you really got to think about it and take a step back once in a while and just say, wow, you know what I mean? And I'm not super tapped in to all the history. I know a thing or two, but I mean, we take the metro to the Coliseum and you just look up and it's like, holy definitely good to get out once in a while. We got to make it a habit. Most of the ideas I've been rolling with in the first few videos are ones that are more fresh. Okay, this is a good one. I think this is a good one. This is the most recent one I actually just wrote, like I said a few minutes ago. So social media is such a mixed bag. It's a massive spectrum. It's a gray area. It's something I've thought a lot about as a young adult, dating back to when I first got Instagram. I remember my brother downloaded it and my parents freaked out, and then they just said, you know what, you can get it too. At some point, we were going to get it anyway. So it's so interesting to me. I mean, I'm not going to get into the psychological aspect of, I guess, human validation and what we see on social media versus what our reality is in real life and things of that nature. Social media is so incredibly powerful, and a lot of people, one, don't utilize it correctly. You get this major dopamine fix. You see funny videos, you see attractive people, and you see the cars, you see sports, you see fashion, you see different places around the world. I mean, I touched on it in a previous video, but the world is so small, so interconnected because of these things. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I think when you get too absorbed in those things, you lose sight of what matters, and you lose focus on the things that are really important, and the things you're trying to achieve in your life. So I think it's important just to, when it comes to social media, to have one, restraints, two, perspective, three, the ability to remind yourself that it's not always, to take everything with a grain of salt. Not everything is what it seems. People maybe glorify their lives on social media for whatever reason, for, like I said, that human validation, and people see it and they run with it. So just to give a little backstory, I had Instagram back in high school, maybe early college, deleted it for a good 5 or 6 years, and everybody thought I was bat crazy. I mean, not really. They were just like, what, you don't have Instagram and this and that? And I was like, yeah, no, I don't. You know what I mean? It didn't serve me. I was one of those people. I used to quote unquote doom scroll and watch videos for 2 hours, and I would wake up and be like, what the f-? You know what I mean? 2 hours go by, and you're just sitting there scrolling, and you don't even realize. At one point, I had TikTok, Snapchat, the whole 9 yards, right? And then I deleted everything. Deleted everything. Just cold turkey. I was like, you know what? Actually, it was more of a gradual. I think I first deleted TikTok. I didn't have TikTok for very long because I realized very quickly that it's a rabbit hole, right? You could go on there forever and just scroll and do whatever. And there's value in social media. That it can be used as a tool, which I'm going to touch on in a moment. But deleted TikTok, deleted Instagram. I was never big on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, X, whatever. Never big on that. Snapchat, I ended up deleting. I used to just scroll YouTube Shorts, and then I turned off my history on YouTube, which is actually smart if you don't want to get distracted by it. But you delete it, and then it can't. It's so crazy how that stuff works. But the algorithm, there is no algorithm because you have no history, so they can't recommend videos for you. But so I have no issue with that. You know what I mean? My mind is clear of that stuff. My focus is better. I just recently re-downloaded TikTok and Instagram, but I'm better equipped. I'm older. I'm more mature now, and I know better how to filter things and put restraints on myself, I guess, and be disciplined, simply be disciplined, right? To not use those things and abuse those things in the wrong way, especially. I want to touch on using social media as a tool. I'm doing it now, right, with YouTube. This is video number 7, by the way. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, social media it's a tool, right? I'm trying to utilize it as a tool now. As you can tell, I'm obviously making YouTube videos. I'm going to start utilizing shorts. I got TikTok again. I got Instagram recently. I'm going to try to use those to promote my message and my channel a little bit. And I've never been crazy. I mean, putting up numbers would be nice. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about how many views or likes I get. I want to, like I said, spread a positive message and try to reach a few people. So, and this has always kind of been something on my radar since I was a kid. I've always loved YouTube. I've always been on there watching like Minecraft videos, sports, trying to learn things. You know what I mean? YouTube's so cool in my opinion. So yeah, I want to, I guess be more of a creator than a consumer. And that's a really good point. I just reminded myself of being a creator versus being a consumer. Yeah, I think I've always been a consumer. I've always been a consumer. It's not a great habit. There is value in being a consumer because you derive inspiration, you get ideas from things, right? But at some point you have to go to the other side and become a creator. If that's something you want to do, right? It's not for everybody. It's hard to get in front of the camera and talk to people and put your voice out there, put your face out there, stuff like that. And some people just simply don't want to do stuff like that, and that's fine. There's my mom says, there's a chair for every ass, and it's true. I'm not saying, it's something I've always had an interest in, so I finally took the leap, I guess, and just said, let's do it. So I think at some point, and look, you don't have to create content to be a creator. When I talk about creation and consumption, it's not, like I said, necessarily referring to content creation. You could create a product, you could create a service, a business, you could create anything, you know what I mean? So yeah, my point about, going on TikTok or Instagram and watching all these videos about things you're interested in, obviously, the algorithm is so powerful, and the technology these companies use to hook you, right? It's so crazy to me. And that's where, I guess psychology comes into play, and the power of discipline and stuff like that, but that's a whole different thing. So it's obviously easier to consume. You can very easily get bogged down and lost in that abyss of content because it really is endless. And obviously, like I said, the algorithm makes it so that you want to keep scrolling because they're showing you things that you like to see. When I deleted my social media, I realized I was able to pull myself out and say, holy shit, this is not, you know what I mean? This is not serving me. This is not productive. I'm not consuming this content and then creating anything. It is of value, right? Like now my algorithm on Instagram is incredibly valuable. For better or worse, it's a lot of business stuff, and you see these people who, I go on Instagram and I see this person who made like $1 million in 2 hours or whatever. You know, it's crazy shit. And it's like, holy shit, what am I doing wrong that isn't allowing me to do stuff like that? Like have $10,000 months or $50,000 months, whatever. And then you start, and I'm catching myself in those patterns, right? Where I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, I'm doing something wrong. Like, look at this person who just made 50,000. Look at this person who just made 100,000 in a week, in a month, or, you know what I mean? It's like, chill out, David, chill out. Comparison is the thief of joy. Try to remind myself that, right? Everybody at their own pace. I'm working towards those goals. Not that I don't have, money's important, right? I understand that, and we got to figure out a way to pay rent. So it's at the forefront of our mind, but we're also trying to figure out a way to do things that we enjoy and have fun with life and stuff like that. But you can't help but see these people and think, holy shit, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Something's not right here. I don't know, and this is another. There's so many. I know I'm all over the map right now, but you can't always believe what you see on social media either, right? It's a very small sliver of people's lives. You don't know what people have going on outside of it. You don't know if they're telling the truth about making all that money or driving around in the Ferrari that might be a rental, or they with the whole taking a picture with the family and really they're in the midst of a divorce. You definitely have to have a filter and be able to take a step back and say, okay, social media is a very small piece of the puzzle. I don't know what's true, what's not, this and that. And so you're going to otherwise drive yourself crazy. So I think it's important to maintain that perspective. You know what, I'm going to pivot again and talk about how I'm using social media as a tool. Like I said, I'm getting a lot of inspirational stuff, a lot of stuff about business, AI, content creation now, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to utilize these platforms to create content. I'm going to start, like I said, posting reels, TikToks. I'm going to post on the YouTube shorts because that's really going to engage the audience on YouTube, right? I think that'll be pretty cool to see how that converts into growth and stuff like that. So social media is a tool. You need to decide how you use it. It's like anything in life. It's like this AI stuff. AI is a tool. How do you use it? It could be for good, for bad, anything in between. You got to be smart. You got to be disciplined. You can't, like I said, fall down the rabbit hole and just, get lost and consumed in all the bullshit, a lot of bullshit on there too, with the news and everything. People don't know what to believe. My mom's going to watch this, and she knows how crazy my grandpa comes in every day, and somebody new died. Like, he's like, Ellen died, Barack Obama died, this and that. And we're like, dude, what are you talking about? It's crazy that people even post stuff like that and for whatever. And my 86-year-old grandfather obviously eats that up. So, you gotta be smart, and, not everything you see is true, and just, have a filter. People need to learn to think for themselves. I think the problem with the world today is that people see things on social media and they just run with it because they can't take a second and think for themselves. They need people to do things for them. And that's the problem with AI too, right? And that's my point about using tools correctly. It's like the AI is a supplement, I want to say. I don't know if supplement's the right word. It's, like I said, simply put, it's a tool. It's a supplement to help you achieve your goals and make life easier for you. Don't go on ChatGPT and ask what should I eat for breakfast today. You just killed like 6 trees, and you knew you were gonna make eggs anyway. People are nuts, but I'm going a little bit of a tangent. I'm kind of just I'm ripping it. I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. I'm having fun with it. I don't really give a shit what anybody thinks of me. I don't care. I'm having fun. So it's life's crazy. The world is crazy. But like I said, just let me try to close this and not make it so long. But like I said, guys, don't get so consumed in social media. Use it as a tool. Keep your filters on. Make sure you're not consuming things that don't serve you and put you in a better mood and help you achieve your goals, things of that nature. If content creation is something you want to pursue, stop being a consumer and become a creator. No matter what you're doing in life, really. And like I said, consumption is not a bad thing. It's the volume in which you consume things and how you utilize those tools if you're utilizing them. And just be smart. The world is out here, right? The world is out here. It's not on our phones. Have fun. Go for a walk. Go get a coffee with your friends. Go for a bike ride. Go to the gym. That's real dopamine. You know what I mean? So, and be graceful with yourself. It's okay to scroll on social media. It's good to post stuff and interact with your friends. It's an incredibly valuable tool in that sense. That's something I missed when I deleted it. I was no longer able to interact with my friends like I used to, so I had to make more of an effort to reach out to them and talk to them and stuff like that. So it was good in the sense that it forced me to reach out and talk to them, like I said, and see how they're doing. But social media makes it much more convenient to be able to do that. So I didn't have that leisure, but obviously that's a decision I made. But like I said, bottom line, don't get absorbed in that stuff. Don't let it consume you. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Like I said earlier, comparison is the thief of joy. That's an incredible quote. I don't know who said that. Pretty basic, but I heard it recently, and it's so. I remind myself when I see things like $50,000 months and stuff like that. I can't compare myself to those people because I'm just stripping myself of the joy and everything that life has to offer. I'm incredibly blessed, working hard, doing this stuff. So if you take the steps to achieve your goals every single day, I'm a firm believer that you'll be rewarded. So, but yeah, social media is a powerful tool. Just utilize it correctly with anything in life, and be smart and be diligent and think for yourself. That's really what I'm trying to convey. So.